You know, God listens when you are half asleep. Yes, at that quiet hour when your body drifts into rest but your mind has not yet surrendered, something extraordinary happens. Science calls it the subconscious state. Faith calls it the gateway to the divine. In that fragile moment between waking and sleeping, your words carry unusual power. They bypass doubt, they sink deep, and they reach a place within you that is always awake. Most people think prayer has to be loud, long, or complicated. But here's the secret almost no one talks about. In the half-asleep state, even a single phrase can reshape your entire life. Why? Because your subconscious never sleeps. While your eyes close, your inner mind stays open, listening, recording, responding, and when you plant a seed there, it grows. In this video, you'll discover what to say in that sacred moment. You'll learn why just a few whispered words, spoken with faith, can call healing into your body, calm into your mind, and light into your path. These are not empty affirmations. They are spiritual commands. They are keys that unlock the silent intelligence guiding your every breath. Stay with me until the end, because you're about to hear something that could change the way you end every day. Imagine going to sleep not with worries but with certainty that a higher presence is listening. Imagine waking up lighter, clearer, stronger, because during the night your subconscious was working for you, not against you. This is more than bedtime. This is a meeting with the divine. And once you know what to say, you will never look at sleep the same way again. Before we talk about the words you should say, let's step into the moment itself. Quiet, night, half asleep, still. Your body begins to rest, your breathing slows, and the world outside fades into silence. Yet inside, something remains awake. Your mind is not gone, it is alive, listening, waiting. This is the place where the conscious world loosens its grip and the subconscious quietly rises to the surface. Most people never notice this state. They rush into sleep with scattered thoughts, worries from the day, or distractions that leave their mind restless. But in this fragile moment, the door is wide open. The conscious mind, the part that doubts, argues, and questions, is growing silent. And beneath it, the deeper mind, the one that never sleeps, is ready to take in whatever is impressed upon it. Think of it like a field at night. The soil is dark, soft, and waiting. Whatever seed you drop into it will take root. If you plant fear, it grows into anxiety. If you plant faith, it grows into peace. In the half-asleep state, the soil of your subconscious is at its most fertile. This is why your thoughts here matter more than any other time of day. Your body may appear still, but your inner world is wide awake. Signals are moving through your brain. Memories are settling, healing processes are already beginning. And while all of this happens without your control, there is one thing you can guide: the words you choose to plant. Those words sink past the surface and touch the deepest part of you, the part connected to something greater than yourself. So before you let sleep fully take you, recognize this moment. It is not just rest, it is a doorway. And what you whisper here does not vanish, it begins to create. The moment your eyes close, your conscious mind begins to fade, but the deeper part of you, the subconscious, never goes to sleep. It is always awake, always listening, always recording. While you rest, this hidden mind continues its work, controlling your heartbeat, repairing your body, and storing every experience you've ever had. It does not argue, it does not question, it simply accepts whatever is impressed upon it. Think of the subconscious like fertile soil. It does not choose which seeds to grow. If you plant weeds, weeds grow. If you plant flowers, flowers bloom. The soil doesn't decide, it only brings forth what you give it. In the same way, your subconscious accepts the words, images, and emotions that you feed it, especially when you are half asleep. Here's a simple example. Imagine someone falling asleep each night thinking, "I am so tired. Life is so hard." Those words slip into the subconscious, and the next day that person feels heavier, weaker, and more discouraged. But imagine another person whispering before sleep, "I am guided. I am safe. I am strong." Those words also slip in, and the next day that person feels lighter, more confident, more calm. The subconscious makes no judgment. It simply brings life to whatever is repeated. Even in small, everyday ways you can see this truth. Have you ever gone to bed worried about something only to dream about it all night? That is your subconscious replaying the thought you impressed on it. Or maybe you fell asleep with a question on your mind and woke up the next morning with a clear answer. That too is your subconscious at work, processing, guiding, responding. It is a silent partner, always awake. And when you understand its power, you realize that the half-asleep state is not just rest, it is an invitation to shape your life from within. In the stillness of night, when the noise of the day has finally quieted, something greater than yourself surrounds you. It is invisible, yet undeniable. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it the divine. It is a presence that never sleeps, never turns away, and never fails to listen. While your conscious mind begins to drift, that eternal presence remains near, closer than your very breath. Most people imagine prayer as a loud call, a long request, or a ritual that demands perfect focus. But the truth is far simpler. The divine does not require your full alertness to hear you. Even when your conscious mind fades into dreams, the deeper part of you, the part connected to the infinite, remains open. You are never cut off. The presence of God is always accessible in the brightest day or the quietest night. Think of it like a radio signal. The station is always broadcasting whether you are listening or not. At night, when distractions fall away, your inner receiver tunes in more clearly. That is when whispers, soft affirmations, or even a single word spoken with faith are heard most deeply. The conscious mind, which often doubts and questions, is falling silent, and in that silence the divine hears not just your words but the intention behind them. Imagine lying half asleep, your body still, your mind slowing, and knowing that in this quiet space you are not alone. The presence of God is here, steady and constant, like a light shining even in the darkest room. It listens without judgment, without interruption. The moment you open your heart, even with the faintest thought, you are connected. This is the secret of the night. The divine presence is most felt when everything else is still. There was once a man who had been told by doctors that his condition could not be healed. He had tried medicine, he had tried treatments, but nothing seemed to bring relief. His nights were restless, filled with fear and despair. Then he was given a simple instruction, one that seemed almost too small to matter. Before drifting into sleep, he was told to repeat just 2 words: God exists. Nothing more. No long prayers, no complicated rituals. Just this simple phrase, whispered with quiet faith as he slipped into the half-asleep state. At first he doubted. How could 2 words change what years of suffering had not? But he persisted. Every night, as his body grew heavy and his mind began to let go, he softly repeated, God exists, God exists, God exists. His conscious mind, too tired to argue, eventually surrendered. The words bypassed resistance and sank into the fertile soil of his subconscious. In that sacred space, something began to shift. The phrase carried more than sound, it carried belief. And belief, when planted deep in the subconscious, becomes a living force. Day after day, night after night, he continued the practice. Slowly, the despair that had weighed him down began to lift. His sleep grew calmer. His body began to respond. What once seemed impossible started to transform. Over time, his health improved in ways no one could explain. The power was not in the length of the words, but in the certainty they carried. God exists became a seed planted in the deepest part of him, and as it grew it called forth strength, peace, and healing. 2 simple words repeated before sleep opened the door to a force greater than medicine, greater than fear, greater than doubt. Why does something so simple hold such power? It works because the subconscious is like a faithful servant. It does not question, it does not argue, it does not reason. It only accepts and carries out whatever is impressed upon it. When you are awake and alert, the conscious mind often blocks these impressions. It doubts, it analyzes, it dismisses. But when you are half asleep, that barrier grows thin. The logical filter is fading, and the subconscious stands open, ready to receive. Think of it as passing a message through a guarded gate. During the day, the gatekeeper, the conscious mind, examines every word, challenges it, and sometimes refuses to let it through. But at night, as you drift into sleep, the gatekeeper grows drowsy. He steps aside. The message slips in without resistance, and the subconscious takes it as truth. This is why affirmations and prayers spoken in that state take root so deeply. For example, if you whisper, I am guided, while fully awake, your conscious mind may argue back, but you feel lost. The thought bounces around, never sinking in, but when you whisper the same words half asleep, no voice interrupts. The subconscious accepts it, and from that point on it begins to align your thoughts, feelings, and even your actions with guidance. This is also why negative words spoken before sleep can be so damaging. If you fall asleep repeating I am hopeless or nothing ever works out, the subconscious accepts those statements too and begins to make them real. It does not know the difference between what is good for you and what harms you. It simply obeys. That is the mystery and the danger, but also the incredible opportunity, because with the right words, the half-asleep state becomes the most powerful moment of creation. Before you can use this practice, you must first prepare the mind for rest. At the end of the day, find a quiet place where you can lie down without distraction. Let the noise of your thoughts begin to fade. Take a few slow breaths, allowing your body to grow heavy, your shoulders to soften, your heartbeat to steady. The goal is not to force sleep, but to create calm, because calmness opens the door to the deeper mind. When you feel yourself drifting between wakefulness and sleep, this is the moment to speak. Whisper the words softly or simply repeat them in your thoughts. God exists. Do not rush. Say it slowly, clearly, with a sense of reverence. Let each word carry weight. Allow the phrase to move not only through your lips but through your heart. As you do, imagine the words sinking beneath the surface of your mind, as though they are seeds being planted in fertile soil. It is not about volume. It is not about effort. It is about feeling. When you speak with feeling, the subconscious takes the message more deeply. The more you allow yourself to believe, even in a small way, the stronger the impression becomes, and with each night that impression grows. Make this practice a nightly ritual. The same way you brush your teeth or close your eyes in bed, let this phrase become part of your evening rhythm. It does not need to be long. Just a few gentle repetitions as you slip into sleep are enough. Over time, the words will begin to live within you. They will shape your nights, guide your thoughts, and create a quiet strength that carries into your days. When you begin this practice, do not look for fireworks. There will be no sudden flash in the sky, no dramatic voice from above. The change often comes quietly, in ways so subtle you might not notice at first. One night you may find yourself falling asleep more easily. Another morning you may wake up with a lighter heart, even if nothing outside has changed.
Yes.
These are the first signs that the words are beginning to take root. Over time, the shifts grow deeper. Where there was once constant worry, a calm begins to settle. Where there was restlessness, you may feel a new sense of peace. The mind that used to chase endless thoughts before bed starts to quiet down, and the sleep that follows feels more restful. The subconscious, now fed with truth instead of fear, begins to guide you differently. You may find new ideas rising in your thoughts during the day, or answers to questions you never solved before suddenly appearing with clarity. Healing can also begin in ways that seem mysterious. The body responds to the state of the mind, and when the subconscious is filled with faith instead of doubt, the body often follows. Energy slowly returns. Stress releases its grip. Even physical symptoms may ease as the inner life aligns with belief. But patience is essential. Seeds do not grow overnight, and neither do impressions on the subconscious. The results may take days, weeks, or longer. Yet every night you whisper those words, you are building something powerful inside. Even if you cannot see it, the change is unfolding. Trust the process. Keep planting the seed. With time, peace, healing, and guidance will begin to show themselves in ways you could never have imagined. As you practice repeating the words before sleep, you can add another element that makes the impression even stronger: gratitude. Gratitude is like sunlight to the seed you are planting. It warms the heart, softens the mind, and prepares the subconscious to receive good. Before you whisper God exists, take a brief moment to think of one thing you are thankful for. It does not need to be grand. It can be the roof over your head, the breath in your lungs, or the kindness of a friend. Even the smallest acknowledgement opens the heart to faith. When you combine this gratitude with your nightly words, the message carries more weight. The subconscious listens more closely when the emotions are gentle, warm, and full of appreciation. Negative emotions like anger or fear create resistance, but thankfulness smooths the way, making the subconscious more receptive. It is as if gratitude clears the soil of weeds so the seed of faith can grow freely. Keeping your thoughts light and loving before sleep is just as important. Do not fill your last moments of wakefulness with worries about tomorrow or regrets about the past. Instead, shift your attention toward what uplifts you. Think of someone you love, a moment of joy, or even a simple hope for peace. These thoughts create a vibration that aligns with the words you speak. They guide the subconscious to move in the same direction toward faith instead of doubt. By ending your day this way, you invite harmony into both your inner and outer life. Gratitude strengthens your faith. Light thoughts guide your subconscious, and together they create a path that leads you to deeper peace. Every night becomes more than rest. It becomes a practice of aligning your soul with trust and love. Each night, as you lie down, you are given more than rest. You are given an opportunity to reset, not only the body but the spirit. Bedtime can become more than a routine. It can be a sacred meeting point between you and the divine. In those moments before sleep fully takes over, the world grows quiet, the mind grows soft, and the heart becomes more open than at any other time of the day. This is when your connection is strongest, even if no words are spoken aloud. Think of your bed as an altar, a place where the noise of life no longer matters. As you close your eyes, you are not only preparing for sleep, you are stepping into a holy silence where communication with God becomes effortless. The divine does not require elaborate speech or ritual. Sometimes the deepest prayers are simply a feeling, a silent intention, or a soft repetition of truth whispered in your heart. When you choose to turn bedtime into this kind of reset, the energy of your entire day begins to change. You no longer carry the weight of every problem into the night. Instead, you release it, offering it into the hands of something greater than yourself. In return, you receive calm, reassurance, and the quiet guidance that flows when the conscious mind no longer stands in the way. This nightly connection does not demand hours. Just a few moments of focused awareness can be enough. A breath of gratitude, a phrase of faith, a soft acknowledgement that you are heard. Over time, the habit of meeting the divine before sleep transforms the night into more than rest. It becomes a sacred rhythm, a constant reminder that you are never alone, not even in your dreams. Even half asleep, you are heard. In those quiet moments when the conscious mind fades, your words carry power. They slip into the subconscious, they rise toward the divine, and they begin to shape your reality. The practice is simple, nightly, steady, and filled with faith. Whisper the words, feel their truth, and let them guide your nights into peace and your days into strength. Try it tonight, just a few moments before sleep. See how your rest deepens, how your mornings feel lighter, and how your heart begins to trust more fully. Small steps repeated with faith lead to lasting change. If this message spoke to you, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Stay with us as we continue sharing timeless wisdom that can transform the way you think, feel, and live.